Another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queens.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
We get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Hello, Claudette, Cinchi, Prophetic Bastard, Bronze Flat Power God, Christopher Perkins, Nicole is here. All right, Odd Negroes Official, Bronze Flat Power God, Buckhorse DC. Okay, let's get into it. Christopher Perkins, A Stubbs, Dark 2, Love Christy, Leon. All right, Nessa G, Deronda. All right, D Major, Emperor Rex. Okay, shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Desmond, We the People. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Hey, Quiet Storm, Trisha, Chris B, Chili Willie from Philly. All right, shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. I see you, Greta. Now, with that all being said, hey, LL. Okay, Leandris Davis is here. Okay, so let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get it started. Red Wine Entertainment. I see you, Queen Amona Huey, Michael. All right, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she also sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, also don't forget the sale for one of her bundles is still going until the 7th. Okay, Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. I want you all to see this video where they had a meeting. Okay, now the Republicans and Democrats just united to push deeper U.S. military integration into Is Not Real, or with Is Not Real. Now, remember, I reported this to you all on yesterday, how they're trying to merge the U.S. military with the IDF military. Now, Ro Khanna had something to say about this, and it seems like he's the only one that's speaking up against it. Okay, and what I find interesting is that he says that Satan Yahoo actually wrote to someone in Congress and asked them to put that provision in there. So who is really running it? Okay, because it clearly doesn't seem like it's Trump. All right, why is he telling our Congress people what to do? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's go to the footage.
The American people are tired of the arrogance and insolence of Prime Minister Netanyahu telling America what we should do. The entire country of Israel has a GDP that is less than a single town in my district. Yet somehow Netanyahu thinks he can tell the American people what we should do. The person who's most upset with him right now is President Donald Trump. And everyone in America, whether you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, says that we need to tell Netanyahu that America calls the shots, not the prime minister of any other country. They want less cooperation and blank checks to Israel, not more. Only the United States Congress would dream up at this moment, let's actually do more for Israel, not less. And that's what Section 2024 does. It's a pretty simple thing. Should we do more for Israel than we already do, or should we do less? If you think we should do more for Israel, you should be against my amendment. If you think we should do less for Israel at the time that he's arrogantly telling Donald Trump what to do, then you should be for my amendment. Now, let me just be clear. Mr. Netanyahu actually wrote to a member of Congress to put this Section 224 into the bill. The American
I find it all interesting. So who is really running it, like I said? Okay, he actually wrote to a member of Congress. And then it was just maybe a month or so ago that he said that they were trying to be independent and they were going to stop trying to depend on the United States for money. And he said, oh, in about the next decade. A decade? So for 10 more years, the U.S. has to fund you? Now you want to merge militaries? That's the worst idea ever. Okay, that he could ever come up with. That I don't feel comfortable, nor should any of us feel comfortable with him knowing all of our military secrets, with him having all the intel on what the U.S. has going on, with him being privy to conversations that I feel he shouldn't have any business even hearing at all. Okay? Let's not forget they have the Samson option. Let's not forget the USS Liberty. Okay, let's not forget those things. All right, and many other things. So with that all being said, bad idea. Okay, I hope that they absolutely do not allow this BS to pass. So anyway, with that all being said, let's continue. Because I have some updates from the Karmelo Anthony trial that I didn't have on yesterday when I did the live. So let's get into it, because you know what? It's looking like the media, okay, the white media, okay, that is, it looks like they're painting a narrative, trying to control the narrative. Okay, remember I told you all in the beginning of this whole Karmelo Anthony thing when it first started? Remember how I told you all that in fact they were not releasing that footage, and that it was said that the footage clearly showed that it was both of those brothers. Well, now some people are saying it was even more than them, okay, after watching the footage. Now let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Look at this man right here. Hold on. This guy is all for Chud the Builder.
It is showing the court all of, yo, what I can't understand in this whole Chud the Builder case for the life of me, right? This is a guy that's trying to bail Chud out of jail. This idiot is showing the court all of his cash apps, all of his records, and trying to say all of this is like his business, but yeah, everything's going into his personal account, whatever. But what I can't get over is that this guy said he's in his 20s. I think he said he's like 26 years old. Yo, he said he's 26. This dude looks like he's pushing 50. And he's 26 years old. Ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way this dude is 26 years old, bruh. Look at this.
Yeah, he's trying to raise money to get Chud the Builder out. Sit down somewhere, sir. He's right where he needs to be. Okay, he is right where he needs to be. Please pay attention. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So today was opening statements for the Karmelo Anthony case. Let's get into it. So the prosecution's narrative is that Karmelo actually provoked Austin by telling him, hit me and see what happens. Okay. And then he said, punch me and see what happens. So they're saying that you can't provoke someone and then turn around and delete them. Okay, please pay attention. Now the defense's narrative is that Karmelo was sitting down the entire time. Okay, and that the only reason he was under that tent is because all of the other tents were full and his school didn't have a tent there. And so that's why he was there. And also that he saw a friend of his girlfriends or a relative of the girlfriends or something like that. But he saw this person that was familiar to him under the tent. And so that's why he was there. And then basically said that the Austin and his brother Hunter came over and they confronted him. And Austin basically told him to get out from under the tent, that he had to leave. And he wouldn't leave. Now, there's conflicting stories because some of the witnesses claim that he said, touch me and see what happens. But some of the witnesses also say that he said, as long as you don't touch me, we're cool. But like I said, the prosecution is saying that by him saying this, he was provoking Austin. Now, if you ask me, even if you feel provoked, the choice that you make is entirely up to you. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, there's also been reports by people, their boots on the ground, where they're saying that there's racial tensions. Okay, and that in fact, some of the people are trying to intimidate the people that look like me, saying that someone even brought a Confederate flag to the courthouse. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the defense also pointed out the size and the weight difference. Okay, basically saying that Karmelo Anthony is 5'9", weighing about approximately 130 to 135 pounds, whereas the brothers, Austin and Hunter, outweighed him by over 80 pounds, saying that they were 6'1" and weigh between 215 to 230 pounds. So, of course, that would have been intimidating. Okay, please pay attention. They pointed out the fact that he never tried to hide. They said that when he ran, he fell down as people were chasing him. He immediately threw away the weapon, and then he ran towards the track to a coach, a man by the name of Vincent Cooper, and said that he didn't try to run out of the area. He ran to someone. Okay, so he ran to a coach and stayed with him. Basically, they're saying he never tried to hide and that he admitted that he did it. Okay, if you remember, he said, I'm not alleged, I did it. And he said he was defending himself. Okay, so please pay attention. And the people who are trying to use this to further stir racial tensions and who are accusing people who look like me of playing the race card, these are the same exact people who, if the roles were reversed, if Karmelo had been Caucasian and Austin had been someone who looked like me, they would absolutely be saying that it was self-defense. Okay, please pay attention. Mind you, these are the same exact people who say that Chud the Builder, okay, that his case was absolutely self-defense. Okay, please pay attention. Now, witnesses also say that Austin absolutely grabbed, pushed, and punched Karmelo. Now, we could say if Karmelo had never gone under the tent or if he just simply left from under the tent when Austin told him to, that this wouldn't have happened. But we could also say that if Austin had simply minded his own business or gone and gotten an adult to address Carmelo Anthony and ask him to leave, then this also wouldn't have happened. Okay, so please pay attention. It works both ways, is all I'm saying. Okay, it works both ways because that's their gripe. But the whole thing is, these are the same people who are absolutely saying that Chud the Builder was acting in self-defense. Now, this is the same man who provoked and instigated the whole thing. Okay, D Major says, Ro Connor for president, Queen can be press secretary. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. All right, peace, love, and blessings. Now, with that all being said, let's continue because here is more information from people who were actually at the courthouse. Let's go here first.
Made a statement in the Carmelo Anthony case, and I have to let y'all hear this because this is the piece I have been missing, that I have been waiting for the witnesses, for the students around the situation to see what happened, and this is what he had to say.
Trying to get back to their cars, or
This is the witness.
get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up on the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah.
He's talking about Carmelo.
I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So, dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent.
He's talking about the twins.
Over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone, just trying to get dry.
Carmelo was on his phone.
They went from another. They grabbed this man.
Grabbed him.
They tried to punch on dude. Dude went in the bag, and whatever, they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened.
Mind you, this man does not know Carmelo.
It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother, basically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is
wasn't on school property.
Miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track.
Okay, so he said it wasn't even a school track meet. Now, I don't think he was called to be a witness. I think he may be just telling what he knows. I don't know. But here is someone who was actually in the courtroom who saw the video. Okay, and this is what he said. He says, they say the white media is trying to control the narrative. A black man says he viewed the Carmelo Anthony surveillance video.
Right. Enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear enough to where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the cameras.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Carmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still rain.
Right.
I'm from Little Rock. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Carmelo. If you're Carmelo,
and they showed it on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk.
I'm gonna say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and it's immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause. Then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more
Karmelo,
than it's more than the twins that got some licks
all
on.
four.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you have Hunter and Austin standing in the middle,
Okay.
and you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you ain't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get to it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone. So they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Karmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Karmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Karmelo was out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting when he did. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him, and we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him, because it was unwanted. By your own definition and your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it, and you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
Just wow. Okay, do you all hear this? The lies and the narrative that is being painted and pushed. Do you all hear this? Now it makes sense as to why he pulled out a knife. Okay, now it all makes sense if it didn't before. Okay, it's a clear-cut case of self-defense from the sounds of it. This is all on video, and this is absolutely why they never released the footage. I told you all this a year ago. I told you all. Okay, when I heard what Quadnell X said when he spoke to witnesses, how they said that absolutely they were the aggressors and that it was both of the brothers, both of them attacked him, and said that they were known for being bullies. And the media's been lying this whole time and putting out a false narrative and omitting certain facts. That means lying by omission. Okay, please pay attention. This is why I don't fool with legacy media. This is absolutely why. Now, with that all being said, let's go to see what Queen Sheba Darling posted, because she too has been covering the trial. We got information from Nick at Night on yesterday, and also the information that I used in that TikTok that I just played. I got that information from Nick at Night also, so shout out to her. But let's see what Queen Sheba says, because she says juror in tears as emotional testimony rocks the courtroom. So let's see what she's talking about. Now, I'm not, of course, not going to play her entire video, but I do want to hear some of this. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So he was jumped. Isn't that something? And I'm so glad that video played really good, because he said he could literally see the raindrops coming down. And if you remember on yesterday, Naked Nights reported that the video was going to be in 4K. They were enhancing it even more so for them to show it later. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue. And also, we should not have any trolls today. Okay, we should not have any trolls in here today. There were a few, about three or so in here yesterday that I saw. Okay, and I went in on them. That one that was trying to say he was Mexican, honey, he was a whole wanton supremacist. He wasn't no darn Mexican. At the end of the day, they always say that when you start going in on them. Some of them will even have a black person as their profile picture to try to throw you off. But I know wanton supremacists, when I hear them and see them, always by their talking points, you can tell. They try to flip the script and reverse the roles and act as though we're the ones spewing hate, as if we're the problem, okay, when they know absolutely who's the most nefarious of the lads. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, now with that all been said, I'm going to go to Queen of Sheba's video, and I'm going to put an overlay on here. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Yeah, I have the channel set, so they shouldn't even be able to get in here today. Okay, that's what they won't be able to do. Okay, let's get into it. I'm trying to fast forward. My mouse is not grabbing on it for some reason. I don't know why it's not letting me fast forward. Hold on, what is going on here? Let me stop the share for just a second and see if I can fast forward this. I don't know why it isn't letting me. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now, my mouse just wasn't grabbing it for whatever reason. Okay, now let's get back into it. I'm going to start at the 5-minute mark. Now, I haven't listened to any of this. I just pulled it up, so.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was
Yeah. How do you allow some people that have traveled from New York, Los Angeles, outwork you in your own county? I don't know what their strategy is. Okay. Because the government has come. The government is not here to play. They are not applying leniency. They're not tiptoeing around the matter. They are putting it dead in the face of the jurors. They're not saying a life was lost. They are calling it cold-blooded murder. They are saying things like he plunged a knife into his heart. They are not here to play. Do you understand me? And when the opening statements began, let me tell you how it worked. Each side had 20 minutes to present their opening statements. The government, and I told you, I said, if you want fair, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now. I'm going to tell you what the hell is happening in the courtroom. The government did such a good job with their opening statements that I said, well, I'll be damned. I don't know where the defense can go from here. I don't know where they can go from here. This is just me being fair. I said, if the government does a good job, I'm going to tell you that. If the defense does a good job, I am going to tell you that. This is a sad case all around. But before we get into that, we got to go back to yesterday. We got to go back to yesterday to bring you to speed of how or what's happening in the courtroom, because we also have to focus on the jury selection. Yesterday, juror number 27, 37, and 48 were struck. They happened to be 3 Black females. The 3 potential Blacks were struck, okay? And all of them are educators. So you had 3 Black females that happened to all be educators. They were struck. Now, the defense challenged the strike and they filed a motion for the judge to consider reinstatement.
Thank you, Cyrus, for the super sticker donation, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. And I'm guaranteeing the judge wouldn't even consider it.
The DA said that they struck the jurors, the 3 Black jurors, not because they were Black, but because they were educators. And they did not want any teachers on the jury at all. That was what the DA was saying. The defense got a chance to argue their side, and the state received an opportunity on yesterday to argue their side. The defense was claiming, listen, you struck them. They were running with the race claim, and I'm just going to tell you everything, right? They said they struck 3 Black jurors. They didn't even talk to them. They didn't ask them any question, Your Honor. We want to file a motion to have them reinstated. The judge rebutted before making a decision, and what Judge Roach said, hey, listen, that's why we have questionnaires. Why use the questionnaires? Why use them if you're not going to rely on them? I'm just giving you verbatim. Now, let me give you a little bit about Judge Roach, John Roach Jr. He's a no-holds-barred kind of person. He has a very different kind of personality. He's somewhat assertive. One juror described him as scary. He sounds like Dave Ramsey. Let me read the notes. His voice sounds just like Dave Ramsey, but he looks like J.D. Vance, the vice president. Got it? Sounds like Dave Ramsey, but looks like J.D. Vance. He doesn't have a lot of patience at all. He says what he means, and he means what he says. So then the judge denied the reinstatement. He denied the motion, the defense's motion. And the reason why he denied it is because he said the state has no race relation reason to strike those 3 Black jurors other than the fact that they were educators. So then the defense raised the notion, hey, wait a minute, there's still an educator on here. And they said, yeah, but she's an esthetician, not an independent school district educator. So I wanted to give you those details, okay? So here are the jurors that they selected. Juror number 5, juror number 11, juror number 17, number 18, number 21, number 24, number 28, number 38, number 49, number 53, number 58, number 66. The stadium.
Hopefully by the time you watch this video, it won't be
on April 2nd, 2025. And Bill went on to say, this is not a self-defense case. This is not a racial case. This young man taunted Austin Metcalf into touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens when he knew he had a knife hidden, and he took it after Austin touched him, and he plunged it into Austin's heart. He said this was simply senseless and deadly dangerous. We're going to introduce to you a surveillance video that's going to show you what Karmelo Anthony did to Austin Metcalf. And as he was speaking, I was focused on a jury, and he sold them. They were honed in on his every word. They were intent on his every word. And then he said to the jury, Austin Metcalf got a text that morning from the coach to step up and help the team out. And I knew where he was going with that, because I believe that introduction gives way to the question of why would Austin approach Karmelo? Because that morning, according to Mr. Bill, the coach had texted Austin, as well as a few other boys on the team, that I need y'all to step up and help the team out. Mr. Bill describes the tent, and he says, Austin, yes, I am at the trial. Austin and Hunter Metcalf were in the tent first. That's a fact. Karmelo, listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all facts. Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf were in the tent first, according to the government. Approximately 2 minutes later, Karmelo Anthony entered that tent. The government explains that Karmelo was confronted by many, not just Austin, not just Hunter. According to the government, Karmelo was asked to leave several times by many under the tent. The state argued that Austin was exuding leadership that his coach asked him to do, that Austin didn't want a physical altercation with Karmelo. And at the time that Austin Metcalf was stabbed, according to the government, he had no idea that he was stabbed. They said he attempted to turn to his left. He attempted to turn to his right. He lifted up his shirt and he says, I was stabbed. Kids began to run out of fear. And when Austin lifted up his shirt, there was a gaping wound in his heart. Austin attempted to take a couple of steps. He stumbled and he fell. Hunter Metcalf, according to the government, attempted to render aid. Kids began running. All right, let's do a mic check. Let me do a mic check. I apologize. My computer just told me it was time for me to go to bed. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Just give me a 1 in the chat. All right, thank you. Hunter, when Austin lifted up his shirt, he realized he was stabbed. He attempted to take a step. He stumbled and he fell. Kids began to run in a panic, screaming, yelling. It became mayhem in the stadium. Kids began, a few people were chasing Karmelo, pointing out, it's him, it's him, it's him. Karmelo is reported as having said, he touched me, he touched me, he touched me first. At that point, I looked over to the defense, and the defense was passing notes back and forth. The government then hones in on the sentence that Karmelo says, I'm not alleged, I did it. So then the government says Karmelo lied to the police when he said, I told him not to touch me. I told him not to touch me. He said, that's a lie, because what you actually said was, touch me and see what happens. At this point, I looked at the jury and I noticed there was one juror who was sneaking glances at Karmelo Anthony while the state presented their case. I'm going to call her Linda. So the state got straight to the point. They did not take 20 minutes for opening statements, and they passed the floor to the defense. The defense was led, the opening statement on the behalf of the defense was led not by Mike Howard, but it was led by his partner. And unfortunately, his partner isn't listed on this screen share I have. But what the defense, let me just tell you a little bit about them. Here are my notes. The defense was not as loud. They were not as powerful as the government. As the defense spoke and gave their opening statements, I noticed and observed many frowns coming from jurors. The defense attempted, in my opinion, to humanize Carmelo Anthony so that he didn't come across to the jurors as a monster, a cold-blooded monster. Why do you say that? Well, they began to run down Carmelo Anthony's background. They said he was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he and his family located to Frisco in search of a better life. Here's a fact that I learned about Carmelo Anthony in the opening statements. He suffers from epilepsy. He has seizures. As the defense was giving their opening statements and talking about Carmelo Anthony and how his mom left her nursing job to focus on raising her children to be a stay-at-home mom, I noticed that Grumpy was frowning. He gave Carmelo's background. He said he's a varsity player. He's varsity on the track team. He talked about football. He talked about chess. He talked about his GPA. He's never been in trouble. He said he's a son. He has a girlfriend. He ran down all of that, right? But to me, in my opinion,
protect your dreams.
Nice job. Thanks.
Under our roof. American Family Insurance.
Ladies and gentlemen, twice yearly prep is here. One office visit every 6 months.
let me leave my opinion off the table right now. According to the defense in the opening statements, the JV team went first at the track meet. They were scheduled to do their events first. And on that fatal day, it was raining on and off. The defense introduced the fact that Centennial High School did not have a tent. What they had was a tarp, but not a tent. And it was a tarp that covered bleachers. According to the opening statements on the defense team, Carmelo Anthony knew someone under the tent named Eddie, and he went to say hello to Eddie. So Carmelo Anthony sat down for approximately 5 to 7 minutes, and everything was fine, according to the defense, until Hunter Metcalf and Austin Metcalf noticed Carmelo Anthony. According to the defense, Hunter Metcalf was seated in front of Carmelo Anthony, and Austin Metcalf was seated to the right of Carmelo Anthony. Right before the defense wrapped up their closing arguments, they reminded the jury, keep in mind, almost everyone that you're going to hear testify is friends or teammates of Austin Metcalf. All right. The defense painted Hunter and Austin Metcalf as aggressive. According to the defense, Hunter and Austin Metcalf surrounded Carmelo Anthony whilst he was seated in a seated position, and he made it very clear that Carmelo never stood up. And he was attacked, according to the defense, while seated. The defense also introduced as a fact in the court that as Austin Metcalf and Carmelo were exchanging words, at some point, Austin Metcalf said to Carmelo, "I know you ain't got nothing in that bag." In response to Carmelo saying, "Hit me or touch me and see what happens," as he's reaching into his bag, Austin says, "I know you ain't got nothing in that bag." According to the defense, Austin Metcalf initiated a physical attack on Carmelo Anthony. He then introduced the self-defense strategy. And he says the thing with self-defense is you can't introduce it too soon. In that time, according to the defense, Carmelo Anthony had a decision to make. He got all of these kids coming at him. He has these twins coming at him. And he said, So he has these kids coming at him. He had the twins coming at him. And he says, can you only imagine what's going through his head? Because in order to qualify for self-defense, you can't introduce that act too soon. I noticed, and I made a note, that the defense did not say or utter the words of stabbing. What he said is Karmelo defended himself. Karmelo defended himself after he was attacked by Austin Metcalf. And at this point, I noticed the white male juror, that's the younger one that looks like he can be in high school, he looked over to the Metcalf family. At that time, I did a head count, and I made a note, at least 6 jurors don't look happy while the defense is speaking. The defense then moves on to law enforcement being contacted, and Officer Cortez responded, I have the alleged suspect. And Karmelo, according to the defense, responded, I'm not alleged. I did it. The defense's explanation of that statement is Karmelo was not trying to escape responsibility. He owned it at that point. I'm not alleged. I did it. At this point, he wraps up his closing arguments, and the state calls their first witness, Mr. Mike Porter. Mr. Mike Porter is a forensic video analyst for Tarrant County, and he specializes in digital forensic technical services. His job is to take the video evidence that we at a very cross.
My dad started wearing this every night. Now he walks like.
And he was visibly at first I wrote irritated, and then I scratched it out because I said that's kind of judgmental. I don't want to use that word. But then I changed it to visibly impatient. He took a lot of sighs, a lot of deep exhales, and his lips were very like when you press your lips together. I said, uh-oh, they don't like this. The defense cross-examined about Metcalf, along with Hunter and some of the other throwers, and asked them to step up and help the team out. The state said, did you enlist other men on the team to assist? Yes. Throwers? Yes. Big boys. He said basically he described them as the bigger boys. They can lift heavy weight. They can help throw up the tents. They can help the girls out, carry the heavy stuff. Amir and Noah to district. And then the text goes on. The summarization. You didn't know his state of mind, correct? Correct. So I had to sit out for an hour, but that's okay. That's all right. Now I'm learning. Thank you, Tucker. Thank you. Now I'm learning a little bit more about the judge. And I know if he says 5 to be back at 4:58, not 4:59. So Queen Sheba got locked out the court and I was there all day. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Physically restrained this Black kid whose name is Eddie. And Eddie told him, I am going to kill him. And he said, you can't do that. We the 4x1 relay. You know, they were in the car. So when he comes back into the stadium, he witnesses kids running, they're yelling. He's telling the kids, this was kind of lighthearted. Hey, you kids, stop running all around the stadium. Go back over there, behave, sit down. What are y'all doing? Y'all are crazy, just running around. He's like, he didn't realize what was happening. He's yelling at the kids, go sit down. Y'all are running around like y'all are crazy in here, not realizing that a stabbing had taken place. At this point, he's approached by Coach Tiff, that's what he says, shouting, don't let him leave, don't let him leave. At this point, he's like meeting Karmelo Anthony head on. He doesn't know Karmelo, but he said he immediately put his arm around Karmelo, not in an aggressive way, but the way he demonstrated in the court would be like a father figure way. This was sad, this testimony. He just wrapped his arm around him. He said, and we walked. And he said, Carmelo Anthony Carmelo Anthony said, he put his hands on me. He said, what'd you do? He said, I stabbed him. And he said, at that point, he looked Carmelo Anthony in the face and he said, you do realize, son, that if this young man dies, you've just changed your life forever. And Carmelo Anthony responded, he's not going to die. He said, he repeated himself to Carmelo, you do realize, son, that if this young man dies, that you've just changed your life forever. And he said, at that point, Carmelo Anthony begins to break down and starts crying hysterically. He said, things are going so fast. Carmelo's crying. He remembered glancing at the field. He now knows, he sees Hunter Metcalf. Let me get the note, hold on the fence being consoled. Like on the fence, just leaning on a fence, being consoled. And then he hear a black kid running towards him saying, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill him. He stabbed my brother. He stabbed my brother. He had to physically restrain this black kid whose name is Eddie. And Eddie told him, I am going to kill him. And he said, you can't do that. We can't have two students dead. You can't do that. So he had to physically restrain Eddie and lay on top of him until another coach could come and take over Eddie. And they asked him, did Carmelo Anthony's emotions seem genuine? He said, yes. They say, do you know his heart? He said, no. Did the state, this is the government, they said, so did he start crying after you said, you better hope he doesn't die? He said, yes. So then the defense cross-examines Mr. Hooper. They said, do you feel Carmelo's emotions were genuine? Yes. Based on your experience as a coach, that's correct. When Carmelo told you that Austin Metcalf isn't going to die, what were your thoughts? He said, I don't think Carmelo realized that he stabbed Austin in the heart. I don't think he realized that he aimed for the heart. I'm going to guess he wasn't intentionally trying to aim for the heart, but I don't think he realized the severity of his actions. They said, did he try to run? No, he did not try to run. Did he follow your instructions? Yes, he followed my instructions. And at one point, he said, I left him by the fence and he never moved. And when I returned, he was still there. Is it unusual for kids to mingle? He said, no, it's not unusual. They do it all the time. And this is how the coach ended his testimony. He said, I've been a coach since 1994, and I love all of the kids, even the opponents, and I treat them all the same. I embrace Carmelo Anthony because I love the kids. And at this point, I looked at the jury, and there was one lady on the far end that was nodding her head. And that ended his testimony. So that was number 4. Hold on. Now, this is where I get kicked out of the courtroom. Y'all, that concludes my wrap up for the day. It didn't take me that long.
Okay, so she says she did not get to hear the 911 call, and I'm guessing she may not have heard the video either. Okay, or seen the video. So hold on just a second. Okay, I'm gonna go really quickly to Nick at Night. I'm gonna go to her video to see if she talks about the video. What exactly she saw on the video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
And he said that he hopped over a gate to like get to Karmelo. And that's when he saw that Karmelo was walking with 2 coaches from his school. He put his hand up and told Karmelo he wasn't going anywhere. He was walking calm with his coaches. He didn't say,
this blue powder hit my...
It wasn't raining that bad, but that's kind of what it gave. You know what I mean? Like, clearly it wasn't raining that bad. That's not what he said, but that's what he insinuated. Like, the track meet was still going on. So you let me know if you think it was really raining like that. You know, that's the energy that it gave. All right. So he said, do you recall people with umbrellas? Because then now they're like, okay, now you playing. Like, do you remember seeing people with umbrellas? And he says, I don't recall. I didn't see. So at that point, I'm like, now I know you've seen the video. I've seen the video. You were witnessing the case. I know you've seen the video. You've seen them people with umbrellas. You see. He said, I maybe they didn't show him the surveillance video. I don't know, but I just assumed he would have seen it. You know what I mean? But he was like, they were like, do you recall people with umbrellas? I don't recall. I didn't see. Like, there's constant movement that, you know, it's kids right here. They're walking this way. They're walking that way. They're kids under the tent. I wanted to be like in the industry. Like, that was my goal. I ponchos. So they're walking straight. They got the ponchos on. So I'm like looking at the atmosphere around because you can't really see what's really going on in the canopy. And so there was kids constantly moving around. Like, there's constant movement that, you know, it's kids right here. They're walking this way. They're walking that way. They're kids under the tent. They're kids under this tent. And so, like, you know, all of this is going on, but it's normal behavior. It's not like they're not congregating when people are about to fight. It wasn't like, ooh, let's all check out the fight. Like, everybody had normal behavior up until the actual stabbing. So everybody's going about business as usual. You see people walking like not a care in the world. They're not acting like, you know, kids are not congregating. There's no sign that there's any disturbance under that tent. Immediately after there was the stabbing of Austin, they all start dispersing like Skittles or like ants or like whatever you want to call it. You know, they all start like running out. You see Karmelo jump up, he like runs up the bleachers and then jumps down. Like, he tries to like hurry up and run down. He jumps down and he like kind of falls, and then he jets out into the stadium, and it's like a few of them together. I want to say it's like Austin, Hunter, and I want to say 3 other boys that are a part of the track. They all walk in together and they're walking to the tent. So they make it to the tent, and 2 minutes after they make it to the tent, then Karmelo Anthony appears at the tent. After a total of 4 minutes from them entering the tent, 2 minutes later, Karmelo entering the tent. After 4 minutes go by, you don't really see a disturbance in the kids' behavior that are in the tent or around the tent. So while they're under the tent in those 4 minutes, you see people walking by with umbrellas. So you see like several students walk by and they have umbrellas on. From the footage, you can see rain coming down in front of the camera. And then you see several students walking like this way, and they have ponchos on. So they have full rain ponchos. Okay, so I think it was like 2 or 3 that had ponchos. So they're walking straight. They got the ponchos on. So I'm like looking at the atmosphere around because you can't really see what's really going on in the canopy. And so there was kids constantly moving around. Like there's constant movement that, it's kids right here. They're walking this way. They're walking that way. They're kids under the tent. They're kids under this tent. And so like, all of this is going on, but it's normal behavior. It's not like they're not congregating when people are about to fight. It wasn't like, ooh, let's all check out the fight. Like everybody had normal behavior up until the actual stabbing. So everybody's going about business as usual. You see people walking like not a care in the world. They're not acting like, kids are not congregating. There's no sign that there's any disturbance under that tent. Immediately after there was the stabbing of Austin, they all start dispersing like Skittles or like ants or like whatever you want to call it. They all start like running out. You see Karmelo jump up, he like runs up the bleachers and then jumps down. Like he tries to like hurry up and run down. He jumps down and he like kind of falls and then he jets out. And then as he's running out, there's kids behind him that's chasing him. And then he ends up running where there were some coaches right there. And they kind of like, stop him and then hand him off to his coach for his school. All right. So, but in the midst of that, let's see. All right. So the victim entered the stadium at 9:53.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. Okay, so with that all been said, I'm going to go look for updates for today real quick on Twitter. And then we're going to get into this whole thing about Rick Chow because Cyrus Carmack Belton's mom has come out and spoken out about what's going on, about the racism online, the hateful things being said and all of that. Now, there seems to be disruptions in the chat. There seems to be a few disruptions in the chat. Hold on. Let me just get this straight. Everybody freeze. Okay, now I see Dan asking D Major to be respectful. I had to delete one of Buckhorse DC's comments. Let me tell you all something. I see Dan asking Nia to be respectful. Okay, so I'm not sure who's doing what, but let me say this. Buckhorse DC, I saw you put a very inappropriate comment in the chat. That's why I deleted it. Now you are being warned right now. Any more disruptions, people will be put in time out. Okay, I told you all, do not be playing games in my chat. Do not be disrespecting one another in the chat. Okay, if nobody's being disrespectful, then no one has an issue or no one has a reason to be going back and forth. All right, this is my first and final warning. The next time you'll be put in timeout. If you continue to do so, it'll be further consequences. You'll be timed out for 3 minutes the first time. The next time you'll be timed out for 24 hours. Okay? So with that all being said, let's continue. Buckhorse DC in her telling somebody to S him off. S-U-C-K. We don't do that in here. Don't come in here with that BS. That's absolutely disgusting. Okay? At the end of the day. Now, let's continue. And don't use curse words in my chats. Period. Now, y'all got that? Because please don't make me show out this morning. Okay, so yes, I see that, Nia. And D Major, you told Nia to F off. Now, you did spell it with a PH, but that's beside the point. Don't be talking to people like that in the chat. Okay? How would you like it if I told you to F off? Okay? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so all y'all need to sit down somewhere. Okay, now with that all being said, let's continue. Let's continue because we're going to get into this whole thing. Let me just go and see if I can find out what's going on Twitter with this journalist who is there in the court that was reporting yesterday. I also saw that Fox News was reporting on it, but I really don't want to fool with them because we already know the false narratives they tried to paint and the lies and the BS that they spew. Okay, so here's what he posted. Let me start at 45 minutes ago. We'll start at 1 hour ago. So here's what he says. The first prosecution witness in the Karmelo Anthony murder trial this morning is Neil Adams, a Frisco firefighter who responded to the scene of the fatal stabbing. Now, when he arrived, he asked he said Austin Metcalf's pupils were dilated. He was gray, no respirations, and he did not have a pulse. Okay, then 45 minutes ago, he says the next witness is Frisco police officer Eduardo Cortez, who testified that he arrested Karmelo Anthony at the stadium near the scene of the stadium. He says, this is what the officer said. I had the suspect raise his hands in the air. I gave him instructions. I patted him down for any weapons. I advised that I had the alleged suspect detained in handcuffs. Okay, let me just put this up on the screen. Odd Negroes officials said, class, settle down. Exactly. They're acting like they have a substitute for today, but no, they don't. Okay, and let me just take this off the screen. I don't know why I still have this on here. Okay. So he says, I had the suspect raise his hands in the air. I gave him instructions. I patted him down for any weapons. I advised that I had the alleged suspect detained in handcuffs. Karmelo Anthony replied, according to the officer. Okay, I am not alleged. I did it. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. Well, here's the thing. I understand what Karmelo is saying. It isn't that he lied. When you tell someone, put your hands on me and see what happens, that's basically saying, don't put your hands on me or something's going to happen. Okay, that's what that is. That's how I interpret it. Okay, now, with that all being said, at 29 minutes ago, he says, prosecutors are showing the jury body-worn cameras from responding officers who arrested Karmelo Anthony. For the first time, the jury hears the defendant speak. 4-minute body cam was played. Officer encounters Karmelo, handcuffs him, and sits him down before going through his pockets and frisk him. You hear Karmelo Anthony sounding like he's sobbing, crying, and saying that saying the officer, or saying as the officer walks into the car, I told him not to put his hands on me. He is then put into a patrol car and gives officer his name and spelling. Another officer's body cam records Anthony saying after the officer radios that he has the alleged suspect. I'm not alleged, I did it. Okay, under cross-examination. This was 18 minutes ago. Anthony's defense attorney asked the officer, do you remember him crying once you and the other officer in the squad car? He says, did I see tears coming down his face? I can't testify to that because I didn't see his face. My description was based on the tone of his voice. Defense attorney did get the officer to admit on the stand that Anthony surrendered peacefully and complied with officer's commands on the body cam of the arrest, saying he's not resisting. This is what the attorney asked. He's not resisting. The officer says no. Not struggling. Officer says no. Not continuing to run. Officer says no. Okay, so that's the last update that we have thus far, and that is from 18 minutes ago. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth and look at some of the updates after, you know, we're going through the Rick Chow thing. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, let's get into it because as I told you all, Cyrus's mother has come out and spoken, and she said that the racist devils are being real rude and saying nasty things online. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
Being here is very difficult. However, I am going to be Cyrus strong because my son was strong. My son was smart, he was loving, he was kind. I cannot believe that from the time he stepped into that store, as we all saw, he was racially profiled. They followed him around. He was shopping. He took 4 waters, he put them back. He even showed them by shaking his hoodie that he took nothing. And he walked out of the store. He didn't argue with them. He didn't have any confrontation. He didn't curse them. He just walked out. He was respectful. And yet 2 grown people chased him. He fell and they shot him. He shot him dead, like as if he was a dog. And I do not understand how that jury can come back and say that he was not guilty. He was in a runner's stance. It was shown by the pathologist, and they said he was not guilty. It was devastating for me to get a call from Alvin S. Glenn letting me know that Rick Chow was released. That broke me more than you can ever imagine, because my murderer of my son was set free. And it's not fair, and it's unjust. And nobody can tell me that this is not racially motivated, because I'm not supposed to be on social media anyway, but when I go and I look at my social media, I have racist people coming to my page, going under my son's pictures, leaving the most horrific things, saying that they're glad he's dead, good riddance, and I am tired. I don't want this to happen to any other child. No black or brown child. You have to go through this. No parent should have to go through this. This has to stop today. And I just learned today that South Carolina, if it's a murder charge, that they cannot bring in any of your prior acts. Rick Chow shot 2 people before. Rick Chow accosted a child in that store and beat her up with a gun on her hip. And none of that information could be brought to light. And I do not think that is fair, and if that is on the law books, that needs to be changed. Because if that was not there, then my son would have gotten justice. And to allow this person to terrorize this neighborhood for 12, 13 years is ridiculous. And it's just showing that it's okay to treat black and brown people wrong, and it's not. My son loved everybody. He would tell me like, oh, Mom, you're being judgmental. You shouldn't do that. That's against God. And the devil shot him dead, and he laid right there. And we got no justice from South Carolina. And I think it is disgusting, and I don't even know why. I have no words. But every day I will not be able to speak to my son, hear his voice change, see him grow, go to prom. He will never get married. I would never hold my grandchildren, nothing. But Chow is able to go home with his lion son, Andy Chow, and they're able to have dinner with the wife, Alice, who all 3 of them came out that store and they chased my baby. And I think the entire family should be held accountable because it was racially profiled. And I do not think that it is right, and they all should be punished. And I don't know what laws that we need to create to help our people, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. Cyrus should not be gone. None of our children should be gone from the acts of racism, from profiling, from any of that. He should be here. And until the world treats us like we are human beings, I mean, come on. Y'all hire us. Y'all want us around. You like our culture. You want to listen to the music. You want to wear our clothes. You want to do all of that stuff. But when it comes to protecting us and when it comes to looking at our children, you look at us as if we are animals, and we are not. I am a college-educated woman. I hold a master's degree in information technology management. My son was not a thug. He was a 14-year-old boy who was trying to find his way. And for any person that acts like when they were 14, 15, 16, 17, that they did not do nothing wrong, that they did not smoke and drink and have sex and do whatever that they were not supposed to do by their parents, it is a lie. And it is judgmental, and I refuse to allow any of you to sit up there and make it seem like we were bad parents, because we were not. All of our children make mistakes, but I don't see anybody holding, saying, oh, well, you know what? My kid did X, Y, and Z. My kid did X, Y, and Z. No, they're coming onto my page and try to demonize my child, and I will not have it. And it stops today. Keep your opinions to yourself. And until you are in my shoes and you have to bury a child, I don't want to hear nothing from you. But when I go and I look at my social media, I have racist people coming to my page, going under my son's pictures, leaving the most horrific things.
Okay, so we already saw that part. Now, listen, she's absolutely right. Okay, a lot of people have so much to say, specifically racist. And, they were saying, oh, well, he was going to steal. You don't know what he was going to do. And at the end of the day, he didn't steal anything. You know what I think? I actually think that Cyrus went in there to get those bottled waters. And then when he saw how the lady was following him around, when he felt her following him around, he felt uncomfortable and decided, I'm not buying anything out of here, because I would have done the same thing. Okay, I would have done exactly the same thing. And another thing is they wanted to bring up the gun. Why did he have a gun? Well, here's the thing. Some white people buy and give their children guns when they're 8, 9, and 10 years old to go hunting. Remember the little 8-year-old who shot his father? His father bought him that gun. But also, since they want to talk about Cyrus and he was 14, let's talk about this little thug right here. Her name is Brenda Spencer. She was 14 years old when she murdered children and a principal. She committed a school shooting from her own front door. She was shooting, firing out of her window. Out of her window. That's how good of a shot she was. Okay, with a rifle that her father or someone brought her. And she did this because she said it was Monday and she hates Mondays. Do you all remember that? Because I reported on it for True Crime. Do you all remember that? I mean, because if they want to talk about why did he have a gun, why did she have one? Okay, she shot up a whole school. Make it all make sense. Okay, make it all make sense. At the end of the day, 14 years old when she did it, 16 when she went to trial. Okay, given a life sentence with a chance of parole after 25 years. And as of 2026, she's still in prison, as she should be, because she murdered the 53-year-old principal. She injured 8 children. Okay. And how many did she kill? She fired at least 36 rounds. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. She shot and killed, what's the guy's name? She shot and killed Rag. He was a teacher. As he and teacher, that was the principal that she killed. Burton Rag, Principal Burton Rag, she killed him. And a teacher by the name of Daryl Barnes as they tried to help save the children. She fatally shot 56-year-old custodian Mike Shakur as he tried to pull students to safety. A 28-year-old police officer, Robert Robb, had responded to a call for assistance, and she shot and wounded him in the neck as he arrived on the scene. But nonetheless, Robert Robb prevented further casualties by moving a garbage truck in front of the school entrance to obstruct her line of fire. After firing 36 times, Spencer barricaded herself in her home for several hours. Okay? When she spoke to a reporter from the Evening Tribune who had been calling random telephone numbers in the neighborhood, Spencer told the reporter that she had shot at the school children and the adults because I don't like Mondays. That's what she said. That's what she said. So I'm sorry, when they want to sit here and act like Cyrus was, oh, he had a gun, he was a thug and all of that. At the end of the day, we don't know why he had that gun. Maybe he was being bullied. Maybe someone had threatened him. Okay, it's not easy being a kid sometimes, and you may do things that you don't have any business doing. We all know he didn't have any business having that gun on him. But the bottom line was, if he intended to use that gun, he would have turned around and started firing at them the moment they started chasing him rather than running for his life. ran so fast and so hard that he ran out of one of his shoes, that he dropped both of his cell phones and didn't turn around to go back and get them. Okay? And we know how teenagers are about their cell phones. So he was clearly afraid for his life. And when he was shot, he was getting up off of the ground. He still had his back to them. So how is that he was any sort of imminent danger? And as far as them saying he pointed the barrel of the gun at the son, the other witnesses said they never saw that happen. Clearly, Rick and his son were lying. And like the mother said, they've done it before. I saw the video of him beating up that black girl. She looked like she was about 16 or 17. She wasn't an adult. Beating her. They all did. It wasn't just Rick Chow. It was the mom and the son jumped in it too. They all jumped her. I saw it. It's posted on my ex account. Okay, just thugs and varmints. He absolutely should be in prison, and his son should be in there too. Now, with that all being said, Perfect Blackness says, this is why I have been on a personal boycott of all Asian and Arab establishments for 20 plus years. Family, get your noodles and lace fronts elsewhere. Okay, exactly. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution for the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Listen, I don't support Asian businesses. I have not done so since 2020, I believe it was, when we saw all the videos of them beating the crap out of black women who come in their establishments to get their nails done. Okay, and then they, if they don't like the service and they have complaints, they'll beat the crap out of them, throw barbicide in their face and everything, beat them with mops and all of this. They locked a 13-year-old girl in the establishment. They accused one lady of stealing from a beauty supply store, called the police. They searched her. Once the police got there and searched her, she had nothing on her. Do you think they offered her an apology? The lady was crying. She said, I'm a good slave. Clearly, she was acting like a whole raccoon, but nonetheless, she said, I wouldn't steal anything, but they didn't care about her tears. They had the police come and search her. And once the police saw that she didn't steal anything, they removed the handcuffs. And they didn't even offer her so much as an apology. They simply told her, don't ever come back to this store. Don't ever come back. I'm sure she won't after being traumatized. But other than that, why would they tell her not to come back when they mistakenly accused her of stealing? And also, please pay attention. It should be very easy to boycott these people because there is nothing that they sell that you really need. They don't sell things that you need as a necessity. Okay, that's what they don't sell. Okay, they sell things that you just want. You don't have to have any of the things they sell. There's nothing that they're selling that's beneficial to your life. Okay, at the end of the day. Absolutely nothing. And as for the gentleman who was talking about the Jordans and Nikes and the cars and all of that, let me say this. First of all, the only reason they're making those things like the Nikes and the clothes and all of that is because America wants cheap labor. So they allow China to make these things. Okay? And as far as us talking about boycotting, we're specifically talking about boycotting. We didn't say we're going to boycott anything made by Asians. We said we're going to boycott their businesses that are in our communities. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to your restaurants. We're not going to your beauty supply stores. We're not going to your nail salons. We're not doing it. And like I told you all yesterday, if I see any black people in any of those places, and trust me, I will be looking, I'm going to embarrass the hell out of you. And I don't care how mad you get. I'm going to call you all kinds of raccoons while I'm filming you to put on my channel. Okay, to send to everybody, to the big YouTubers, so you can go viral for the wrong reasons. Okay, try them if you want to. And you can take that as a threat or however you will or may. But I am so serious, and we all should be. Like, the buck stops here. And after that guy came out and talked all of that trash yesterday, he took the video down too. I want y'all to pay attention. He took the video down. Because now he knows that he effed up. And I'm going to show you why. Here's what some people had to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get into it.
Boycott of an Asian hair store here in Houston. And immediately when I get on TikTok, I see a post of a young gentleman saying people all over the country are boycotting Asian hair stores and Asian nail salons because of what happened to Cyrus. The most liked comment said, why punish other businesses that had nothing to do that? And my response to that is very simple. Because I can't look at the color of your skin to determine whether you're friend or foe. For years, y'all have looked at the color of our skin and looped us all as criminals, as has-beens. We ain't gonna never be nothing and we are tired. But when we do it to you, it's a problem. But Drea, we're not all like that. And I understand that you're not all like that. But I am not willing to walk into another store or into another business that don't have somebody that look like me to find out that you're not one of the cool ones. What do? We stop going to all of your establishments. We start supporting our own, period. I'm about to start putting together a series of Black Wall Street Zooms that is free, that is for everybody in the Black community that can come and start learning about resources in your area for you to support your own people. And I know that there's an app out there that you can go to. I'm not talking about no app. I'm talking about real conversations, real people that you can connect to in your area.
And so today is a day of reckoning within the Asian American community to recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our Black and brown brothers and sisters.
Now, while I can appreciate what he's saying and I applaud his efforts and thank him for speaking up and speaking out, but at the end of the day, it's too little too late. At the end of the day, the good ones are going to suffer right along with the bad. That's just what it is. You see, like the lady said, we don't know which of you are which. And I've told you all 1,000 times that, in my opinion, sugar and salt look just alike. And by the time you realize that you made a mistake, it's already too late. You've already tasted one. Okay, so please pay attention. At the end of the day, I don't know who's who. I don't know if you're a good one or you're not. So just to keep myself safe and just to stand firmly with my people, I'm not going to patronize any of them. Any of them. But that's just how it goes. And also, here's the thing. You know, that's the only way that the boycott is going to work. Okay, we can't be letting anybody slide. Furthermore, when one Black person does something nefarious, don't they talk about all of us? And by they, I'm not talking about the Asians specifically, but I'm talking about the collective of people, specifically racist people. Okay, they look at all of us as if we're thugs, as if we all behave like that one person who did something nefarious. Okay, they look at us collectively. So that's what we have to do. We have to treat them collectively the same way. Now, that might seem harsh to some, but it is what it is. Now, let's continue.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm serious about this shit. I'm not spending another damn dime with them after what Rick Chow did to 14-year-old Cyrus Belton. And I'm trying to see what y'all on. Because we need to get serious about this shit. We need to boycott their ass the same motherfucking way that we did Target. We need to...
Now, hold on. Let me just say this. Perfect Blackness says, Black women, there are plenty of FBA hair and nail shops to choose from, and Black men, noodles and fried rice ain't good for you anyway. Get in the gym. Exactly. Thank you for that, beloved, and for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to show you some Black-owned hair salons, beauty supply stores that you can go to. Okay, that you can go to. Now, Ashkan has a question. Ashkan says, so you're going to judge them based upon their physical traits? It seems like a never-ending loop. No, I'm not judging them based on their physical traits. I don't need to. I am not judging them based on their physical traits. Listen to what I'm saying is, first of all, I know Asians when I see them. We all do. That's for number one. We also know their businesses because they're in our communities. We see them every day. So I'm not going to support them. It's not because I'm judging them. It's because I don't like the verdict that they gave to Rick Chow. It's because I don't like what happened to Latasha Harlins in 1991. It's because I'm fed up with the disrespect, them putting their hands on people who look like me, accusing falsely people who look like me of stealing from their stores. This doesn't have anything to do with what they look like. It's about who they are as a people. Okay, and that's about what it is, because a collective of them are against us. A collective of them come into our communities and take our Black dollars and disrespect us and don't put anything beneficial into our community. When our children are out there trying to fundraise for school, whether it's for Girl Scouts, whether it's for the football or basketball team or whatever, so they can get new jerseys or whatever they need to go on trips or whatever, they never contribute a darn thing. We are building them generational wealth, and the buck stops here. That's what that is, and that's how it goes. Now, any more questions? Because that's just what it is. Period.
Hit their ass where it hurt. We need to hurt their motherfucking pockets, and they need to see how the fuck it feels when the black dollar is withheld. All this procrastinating and sitting around, we need to get serious. No more supporting their businesses. No more. Withhold the black dollar. Boycott their ass. They ain't finna get shit from me no more, and all of us need to be on the same motherfucking page.
That's
Point
right.
blank
You better
motherfucking
be.
period.
Period.
Withhold the black dollar. Boycott their ass. And let them motherfucking see. Let them learn the hard motherfucking way. Hurt their pockets, hurt their businesses, and we'll see. We're gonna see. Everybody needs to stand on that shit.
Asian American businesses have been operating in Black communities for 60 years. I'll say it again. The Civil Rights Act passed in 1964, and the United States opened the door to Asian immigration in 1965 to put immigrants in the way of Black people. And this idea that the tension between business owners and customers is one of mutual cultural misunderstanding that could be overcome if they just got to know each other better, the time for that has long passed. And as I've said before, the problem with framing the misunderstanding as mutual is where one demographic owns the businesses and the other demographic has to pay. There's no mutuality. There is a power imbalance. The only situation that I could see being beneficial at this point would require Asian Americans to be willing to leverage their ability to secure the business loans, to secure supplier accounts, and to attain business licenses, to open in Black communities specifically to hire Black people to work in the businesses and to provide the professional development opportunities so that Black people can become the leadership in the businesses in their communities. But I don't have a lot of hope that Asian Americans are willing to do that because the Asian American business owners that we see currently are not even willing to treat their Black customers as human. So I fully support Black people boycotting these problematic businesses in their community. And I want to say that I think another thing that non-Black people aren't aware of is that it is not as simple as boycotting the businesses and putting them out of business and then opening your own to compete. Because the system will find ways to still not give them the loans or rezone them so they can't open a business or not grant the business licenses. And suppliers are literally conspiring against Black people who have managed to open a business in their own community to not supply to them because they don't want Black people competing with the Asian American owned businesses in the community. So I wish that I had more to offer in the way of solutions, but I really don't. But please do not gaslight Black people with respect to what the issue is.
I appreciate her saying that, but the rule still stands. And let me just tell you all something else. How you know collectively it's them? Even when they go over to Africa, they go over there and colonize Africa and then mistreat the Africans. They literally have restaurants, they have grocery stores and things over there for them that they built in the motherland, but they don't allow the Africans to go there. The Africans are not allowed to eat in their restaurants in some of the places. It's the nerve of it for me. How do you come to someone else's place? And let us not forget that I just reported to you about 2 weeks ago how they do the Jamaicans over in Jamaica. They have these beaches and these resorts where the Jamaicans can't come. It's only for whites and Asians. Because Asians are the honorary wanton supremacists in this country. And we all know it. We've always known it. But they don't want them in their neighborhood, so they send them to ours. Okay? The disrespect is done. We're not having it anymore. And they're going to see how it feels. That's what they're going to do. They're going to see how it feels. I don't care about who's coming out here doing videos saying, oh, don't do the Black people like that. You could have been said that. You could have said that back in 1991 when they killed Latasha Harlins. Okay, but now they know that the fire is coming. Now they know that the storm is brewing because they already saw what we did to Target. Okay, they already saw that what we did to Target. They know that Black people are finally, most of us are getting on code. Okay, so they know what's coming. So yeah, they're going to come out now and start talking all nice, and some of them actually mean it, some of them don't. Some of them are just like the sugar and salt analogy that I used. With that all being said, everything still stands. Don't let me catch you in one of those stores, or I will make sure that you're embarrassed to the fullest extent, okay, of embarrassment. But let's continue.
I don't know why y'all taking this shit as a joke. I'm so serious, blacks. We not fucking with no Asian stores, no nail techs, no motherfucking restaurants, none of that shit. I'm not playing. If I catch any of y'all in there, I ain't saying I'm gonna beat y'all ass, but I'm gonna let y'all know y'all wrong.
Hurry up and buy.
Okay, you heard what he said. Don't let me in here
After
catch
that
you,
Asian
seriously.
man got away with murdering a black teenager, this other Asian man came on the internet and said that it's impossible for the black community to boycott Asian businesses. And let's just show them that nothing's impossible. Because from now on, I'm not buying anything Asian. If I know any business that is Asian owned or Asian people will get benefit from it, I will not be buying from them. And I hope people make lists of businesses that are Asian owned so we can start boycotting them, because the disrespect to not only get away with murder, but to come on the internet and taunt the black community saying that it's impossible for them to boycott you. Yeah, we're not gonna tolerate that. Or as far as me, I'm joining in the boycotting. Like, I am not going to be buying nothing from Asian business. If I craving sushi, I'm gonna go to the Mexican restaurants who make Mexican sushi, and I'm gonna eat some Mexican sushi. But I'm no longer supporting Asian businesses. You guys suck. I mean, you guys not only suck for like getting away with murder and joining in the white people for this systematic racist system, but you guys are dirtbags to even think that you can come on the internet and taunt black people like that. Like, how fucking dare you? And trust and believe, we will boycott you.
Okay, I think he was Mexican or Latino, so shout out to him. Now, Perfect Blackness says, let's not boycott. It implies a temporary state. We need to stop spending our money at their establishments, period. That requires permanence. Listen, that's a good point, beloved. Absolutely, but it's a permanent boycott. We're not going back. It's a wrap. They are done in our communities. Okay, they are done in our communities. Anybody not on code will be shunned. Okay, you will be shunned. All right, that's what you'll be. Now, with that all being said, thank you again, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Let's talk about it really quick. So, black consumers in the U.S. spend over $6.6 billion annually in the beauty and personal care market, a massive portion of which goes to nail salons. Okay, while precise data breaking down this exact spend specifically into Asian-owned salons is not tracked by the U.S. Census, they say, but a majority of this money goes to Asian nail salons. The nail salon industry in the United States is overwhelmingly operated by Asians, specifically Vietnamese professionals. All right, now please pay attention. While black consumers are significant drivers of the industry revenue, black-owned salons represent less than 3% of the market. Consequently, billions of dollars spent each year by black women and men on manicures, pedicures, and acrylics are processed by Asian-owned establishments. Now, in the Atlanta area, typical spending breaks down to an average of $50 to $100 per visit for standard services. And this recurring expense over a year contributes significantly to the revenues of local shops. Because y'all know women begin their nails done like every week, every other week. Okay? With that all being said, black consumers spend over $16.2 billion annually on total beauty supply products, a rapidly growing figure driven by high spending on hair care, cosmetics, and fragrances. Now, within this market, spending specifically on packaged beauty supplies, meaning physical products bought in stores or online, exceeded $10.2 billion annually, according to data. Now, with that all being said, and when you're shopping online, make sure you're not buying from them online too. Okay, don't mess around and still be shopping with them only online. Make sure it's not coming from them. Research Black-owned businesses. As a matter of fact, tonight I'll look up a myriad of them and I will share them with you on tomorrow. But with that all being said, I have a couple to show you today, at least 3 or 4. Now, Black consumers disproportionately outspend other demographics in several specific retail product categories due to unique needs and cultural styling choices, such as hair supplies. Okay, the hair care is the top overall product category. Black women spend up to 9 times more on ethnic hair products. Buy your hair products from 12 tribes, okay, owned by my dear sister, Lisa Cabrera. Okay, and now I told you all I was going to start making my hair supplies. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to start doing that. Now, please pay attention. With that all being said, they spend much more than non-Black consumers to maintain natural hair textures, braids, extensions, and protective styles. Fragrances and lotions. Okay, this is also what Black people are spending more of their money on. Cosmetics and nail products. This category accounts to roughly $2 billion in annual physical product purchases. Okay, so I'm sorry. They're going to miss this money. He can sit there and talk trash, that guy who was talking all the trash yesterday. He can talk all the trash he wants. But the bottom line is they're going to feel it. Okay, they are absolutely going to feel it. How could they not? Okay, let's continue.
I couldn't wait to get home and do this video. Jack right here, he was talking to y'all. He wasn't talking to me. You know why he wasn't talking to me? Because I shop Black owned. But let me show you. My hair products, right? Black owned. You know who this is. Black owned. Rice water, rosemary water, Black owned. Botanica oil, Black owned. For my locks, Black owned. If I wanted a dude, Black owned. Okay? For my kids, Black owned. Edge control, Black owned. Let me come over here. Edge control, Black owned. Now, if I wanted something for my body, Black owned. Y'all know who she be. Black owned. Okay? We get this? Now, if I want to wash my face, Black owned. Okay? If I wanted to smell good, Black owned. Let me open it so y'all see. Black owned. If I wanted my house to smell good, Black owned. And all of that, right? Black owned. Black owned. If I wanted to wipe my butt, let me turn this around, baby. And I just got a package for 2 more. Black owned. If I wanted to wash my clothes, Black owned. Black owned. Vitamins, more vitamins. Black owned. Okay? Black owned. Now for my hormones and stuff. Black owned. But if I wanted to sage out my house, I can't find my other ones, but baby, Black owned. Black owned. Everything in my house is Black owned. I support my Black peoples. He was talking to y'all. He was not talking to me. And this is what I mean. You give them an inch, they take a mile. This Black owned in here. Black owned. Black owned. It's matter of fact, I got Black owned books. Books. Black owned. Everything is Black owned with me. I support my people. Matter of fact, forgot, girl. If I wanted my house, mop my floors, baby. Mop my floors. Black owned. What else did I forget? It's so much stuff in my house that's Black owned. Black owned. He was talking to y'all. He was not talking to me. He could never talk to me. I don't go there. I don't go to none of them. Y'all, I don't get my nails done. And I do my kids' hair, my husband hair. Black owned.
If you are Asian and you feel terrible about the lack of justice done in the Rick Chow case, I want you to open up a browser window and type in Black-owned businesses and then the name of your town. We live in America under capitalism. Our money is going to talk louder than our vote does, or our words. And if you know that any business, local or mega corporation, has done Black people dirty, do not spend your money there. I have not set foot in a Target for years. Sometimes I go in there to take up their air conditioning and not spend any money. Sorry. Go try a Black-owned restaurant. I promise it's delicious. Find a Black-owned nail salon. Don't go in there expecting mega cheap prices, because a lot of these small business owners are navigating generational economic oppression in order to open their businesses. But like I said, what you get can be really, really good and worth it. Before you go spending your money at like an Asian store or other non-Black business, you can see in the comments, like in their Google reviews, if they have multiple people who have experienced racism there. If it happens more than a couple times, then maybe don't shop there.
I am noticing white people join this conversation. And by conversation, I mean the conversation that my community and the Black community are having right now in regards to what happened to Cyrus and how Cyrus was murdered by someone in my community. And I just want to say, I am happy that y'all are on the right side of history, because great. But also, I am not willing to let y'all join this conversation and do what y'all did during the Stop Asian Hate thing. Because the truth of the matter is, what happened during Stop Asian Hate was that the majority of the people who were harming my community were white people. And y'all chose to scapegoat the Black people. Y'all did. And created tension between my community and the Black community. And now you're hopping on to this conversation, this issue that your community created, by the way. Your community created this fucking system. And you have the nerve to come into this conversation and try to scapegoat Asian people, try to make it seem like it's all of us who harm. When the reality is the majority of the people in your community are genocidal maniacs.
I am so done. Okay, so here's the thing. Now that was funny. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, I applaud the efforts and those speaking out or what have you and whatnot, but the bottom line is it's still the same. Okay, we're not shopping with them. It's just not going to happen. So now let's go to what Godfrey had to say about it, because you all know Godfrey always keeps it real. Okay, so let's go to Godfrey's video that I shared this morning on my X account. And then I'm going to show you a couple of Black-owned businesses that you can go to rather than going to them. Please pay attention. I'm going to use an overlay because Godfrey didn't tell me I could use his video. You know, I meant to tell you all yesterday, I don't know why, but I had this weird dream about Christian Keys and Shaq. I don't know what that was all about, but it was strange. Christian Keys and Shaq. What kind of combo is that? Okay, please pay attention. Okay, so here we go.
But you made a general picture about us Black people, and that lets me know you ain't. You're a bozo. Because you go, oh, we'll take away the lick. This is what you said.
I love when the Black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout.
Yeah, take the Chinese takeout out. That's whack anyway. You serve us bullshit, GMO, all that. We get fat and get diseased off of your dirty food anyway. Because the food that's in the hood is not good for the Black people. There is good Chinese food, but the shit you serve is usually trash. All right?
The dry cleaners.
We'll be fine. A Black man invented dry cleaning anyway. We'll be fine with the dry cleaning. We will find another place to get our dry cleaning at.
The laundromats.
We'll be fine with that.
Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well.
We don't need liquor. See, all the things, a lot of stuff you were naming is that has been killing us anyway. So we need to change up our anyway. Liquor. I don't even drink anyway. And a lot of people should stop drinking liquor anyway. So shame on you for that.
Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear.
Out Jordan, he's not Asian. He's a Black dude. Okay. And I think that he can go somewhere else to get his shoes made. All right.
The shower caps.
Please. Get out of here with that.
The Hyundais, all your car electricians.
That's Japanese. There's no Japanese in the Black neighborhoods anyway. And you said car electronics. Listen, there's certain things, of course, a lot of stuff made in Asia. That's fine. But guess what else? Asians do. Copy black culture. That's what you do. So you should stay the fuck out of black culture too, sir. And then you say,
a lot of us do go to college. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed?
black women have the highest degrees in America. Black people go to college too. And you had the nerve to say,
go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people.
You know how many black people try to get loans, try to get money for businesses, and banks are so racist, they don't give it to black people? You jack. And by the way, the reason why you guys have the right to come into black neighborhoods to open stores is because white folks didn't want you in their neighborhoods, so they sent you to the black community. And you said,
we have our own Chinatown, we have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money?
Chinatown was a ghetto where they put Chinese people in a certain area. Of course, you guys worked hard and built it up. That's facts. But it was a ghetto because they didn't like you. They had anti-Chinese laws against you. They did. White folks shit on Chinese people, Asian people in general. Japanese in internment camps, they shit on Koreans. So all of this shit you talking, you better know your history, buddy. So the reason why your is even in here to open your mouth on that phone is because of the Civil Rights Bill in 1964. Did you know that? Off of Black American sweat is the reason why Asians can come in here and do what they do. Arabs can come in here and do what they do. Even Africans can come here.
That's right. No lies detected. That's because of our ancestors fighting for rights. Okay, please pay attention. But he has the nerve, the audacity. Now, here are some Black-owned businesses. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Nidra Williams, and I'm the owner of Solo Beauty Supply. Solo Beauty Supply is a second-generation Black-owned, woman-owned beauty supply here in Chicago. We have 2 locations, 8158 South Cottage Grove and 9011 South Ashland. And we are so excited to be the new distributor of a brand new plant-based hair, natural hair, braiding hair. And you can come in store to find it, or you can visit our website, solobeautysupply.com.
And the name of her TikTok channel is Hair Without Harm. Okay, you can find her on TikTok. Okay, now I'm muting her volume because she has music playing in the background. I'm not sure whose song that is. But as you can see, her name is Mahogany. The TikTok channel is Mahogany Beauty Store, Black owned. Look at all of her products. Wigs, weave, you name it, oils, shampoos, conditioners, whatever you need. It's right there. Houston, Texas. That's where she's located.
We're the owners of the Gallery Beauty Supply, and this is our story.
We opened our doors January 21st of 2023 in Southgate, Michigan. But wait, let me tell you how we got here. We grew up in Detroit, which is the hair capital of the world. Beauty was always a part of our lives. We spent so much time in beauty supply stores, but noticed there weren't any Black-owned beauty supplies in our area. We wanted to change that. We decided to open the first Black-owned beauty supply store in Southgate. After deciding that, we got straight to work. But if we're being honest, it hasn't been easy. With limited funding, we had to learn and grow while trying to keep up. At times, it made it hard to fully stock our shelves and operate the way we know we can. After 3 years, we understand our business and we just need support to get ahead instead of constantly catching up. This is why we have created a GoFundMe. The funds from this GoFundMe will be used to keep our storefront. We have until April 30th to save our store. We'll also put the additional funds to creating a back area where we'll have braiders and estheticians working in the back. We'll also get back to hosting events and giving back to the community the way we always wanted to. Anything donated is greatly appreciated. Thank you for your support and helping us keep our dream alive.
All right. So there you have it. There's absolutely, and that's just a few, like I said. I'll do some research to find more. Okay, so I'm about to close out the broadcast, but let me just check and see what are the latest updates for the Carmelo Anthony trial this morning. The last we left off, he had posted 18 minutes ago. So now, okay, here it is right here. So 10 minutes ago, he reports saying, hold on, let me just share my screen. It looks like they're asking about the knife. Okay, so 10 minutes ago, he says jurors are getting their first look at the knife that prosecutors say Carmelo Anthony used to kill Austin Metcalf. It's a 5-inch folding knife that which had blood on it when it was photographed at the scene on the ground in the bleachers of the stadium. The jury is also seeing photos of Carmelo Anthony's backpack, which was near the knife at the scene and had been opened. Prosecutors now have introduced the knife into evidence and the backpack. Okay, so 10 minutes ago, he also says jurors are now watching an extremely graphic body cam video that shows paramedics applying CPR to try and save Austin Metcalf's life, while you can hear students wailing and screaming inside the stadium from a distance. Inside the courtroom, Austin Metcalf's mother and father each have other family members wrapping their arms around them, and they broke down in tears while watching it. Carmelo Anthony is watching the video intently along with the jurors. The video captures the chaos and uncertainty about what happened and why. Okay, so that's the last that he's posted on that. Listen, like I said, this is a very volatile situation. It is not looking good. The people are reporting that there are people trying to intimidate the Black folk down there. So hopefully nothing crazy happens. Everybody stays safe. But we're going to keep updated on it. I'll probably come back later and give you some more updates. But before I leave out of here, let's talk about this former South Fulton police officer who says that he was retaliated against for simply doing his job. Okay, so now he's suing. Now he has chosen to sue. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, when is this? Let me get the most recent one. Okay, here we go.
He had no choice but to resign after he says he was retaliated against for doing his job. Now he's suing the city and its public safety director for retaliation. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez live in the city of South Fulton. And Taisha, city officials are denying these allegations.
George, they're flat out calling the allegations false and egregious, and they said they will explore their own options to go through the legal process. Now, the former officer who filed suit, he said city leaders are hiding something. He said that's the only reason why they stopped his investigation and disbanded the corruption unit.
It's a little bit intimidating, but once you feel, what you're doing is right, then it kind of goes out the window.
Cecil Hutchins became a City of South Fulton police officer back in 2022. And full disclosure, he's also related to a Channel 2 employee. Now, by 2025, Hutchins was promoted to detective in the corruption unit. Now, he's suing the City of South Fulton and its public safety director, Dr. Cedric Alexander. In this lawsuit, Hutchins says the city employee, Hal Moon, admitted to stealing city funds.
Once I told Meadows that we did a search warrant on Hal Moon's phone, that's when we saw text messages where Hal Moon was actually tipped off before we got to him by Councilwoman Keosha Bell.
Hutchins says this Councilwoman, Keosha Bell, sent the suspect, Hal Moon, these text messages in the middle of a city council executive session, naming the informant in the case. Hutchins says when he tried to get warrants to arrest that councilwoman, he says the city manager stopped him. So Hutchins went to the FBI. At one point, Hutchins, Dr. Alexander, and some other officers met with the FBI to discuss the case.
2 weeks later, my whole unit is kicked off and disbanded. He took my police operating equipment vehicle, and then he gave me a Jeep that had no lights, no sirens, no internet.
City officials would not sit down for an interview about this pending litigation. However, Mayor Carmelita Gums sent me this statement, quote, "Our residents will always have a city government that acts with integrity, accountability, and urgency. Our commitment is to protect public trust support our employees, respect due process, and take swift action where action is required. We just wanted to mention that Councilwoman Bell is not facing any charges, but she still had no comment when I reached out about the lawsuit. Dr. Cedric Alexander said he's named in the suit, so he cannot comment on pending litigation. We will stay on this story. We're live in the city of South Fulton. Taisha Fernandez, Channel 2 Action News.
And I hope he gets every dime that he is owed, okay? So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like, share, subscribe, okay? And stay tuned because I will be back later. Like I said, we're going to go to some more updates about the Karmelo Anthony trial. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of this beautiful day. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why